She is in the 7th grade, and she is very active. She has a lot going on. She does gymnastics. She is in her school play, and she's very busy. And one thing that they've been talking about in their science class is cells, and she has asked me tonight to kind of help her out. So Mandy, explain to me what you have going on. What's
well, I'm not really understanding fully like the parts of a cell, and like I can't remember them very well.
Okay. Do you know what kind of cell we're talking about? Are we talking about a plant cell, or are we talking about an animal cell?
Kind of both of them. Like we focus I learned in class, we learned more about the animal, but we also learned about the plant cell. So
okay, so you probably need more help with the animal cell. Okay, so what I'm going to do, Mandy, is I'm going to try to go onto a different screen and try to work through some of this with you. And so I'm going to share my screen with everyone so that they can see kind of what's going on. And what I wanted to do is, I know that you learn well visually. You learn well reading, you learn well hearing, you also learn well visually. Gabe, on the other hand, who is Mandy's brother, my son, he learns very well visually and kinesthetically. He likes to touch and be a part of things. But I have found this PowerPoint presentation talking about the cell, and I'm only going to use a couple minutes of it to go over some things with you. So let's see if I can share my screen, and we'll try to do this with you. Okay. So if Daddy, I come down here, what did you do? It's okay, man. It's still recording, but I'm sharing my screen now so everybody can see it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this is the parts of the cell. Okay. Now, you know that cells are called organelles, right?
Yeah.
Or the little structures inside of the cells are called organelles. Yeah. And so they carry out specific instructions. Don't look at this. See if you can tell me some of the parts of the cell.
There's like the cell membrane, like the stuff, and then there's like the outside part of it on like the plant cell. That's like all I remember.
The cell wall?
Yeah, that.
Okay, what about inside? What's like the brains of the cell? What produces the DNA?
I know that there's plasmids in bacteria.
Okay, cool. Let's go through this then. So we're looking at this. Hopefully all of you guys can see what we're looking at here too. So
I thought only atoms had a nucleus.
No, we have nucleuses in cells, Mandy. That's what nucleuses are, what carries the DNA, what builds it, creates the DNA, and then those DNA go out to the ribosomes and to different parts, and that's what starts to translate the DNA and make proteins and new cells.
I remember the vacuole in the cytoplasm too.
Okay, cool.
I forgot the name.
What does the vacuole do?
Are they like the little things inside of it, or are they the opening and closing things?
So what happens with the vacuole is the vacuole will go and it removes stuff out of the cell.
Oh, so it's like the one that like, it can let stuff out and it can let stuff in.
Exactly. It lets things in and out. There's also other proteins and other things that do that, but the vacuole is part of that, and I believe that it's mostly in plant cells. It is in plant cells. So sorry, but there's some other really important things like the mitochondria. That is what builds and creates ATP. ATP is what helps you to have energy. And in plants, chloroplasts, right?
Yeah.
You've got chromosomes. That's what passes on the genetic information. Those are in things that are called gametes or sex cells. So that's the sperm and the egg that help to create another human being or another animal.
Ew.
You have all sorts of fun stuff in here. So do you feel like you know a little bit more about the cell? Let's look at the picture of it. So, you know, they've kind of given us this diagram of the cell. It's pretty cool to look at.
So like the purple thing's the nucleus. And
So
then,
here you've got your nucleus, right? And what is this for again?
it holds like the DNA.
Right. And it produces little codes of DNA and RNA that go out into the cell and then are turned. See these little purple things on top? Those are called ribosomes. Those are what takes that and decodes it, like a little machine just sends out these proteins and builds these amino acids.
Wait,
and
what does RNA stand for?
It's ribonucleic acid.
And then DNA stands for
Deoxyribonucleic acid. So this little guy right here, that's your mitochondria.
Oh.
Okay. This is your Golgi. Your Golgi is kind of like a mail, the mail place where you get your mail from. It takes all these little things, it packages it, and it ships it out all throughout the cell. It sends it out the cell, sends it where it needs to go. Okay. These lysosomes are things that take junk inside the cell. They gather around it, and they either blow it apart or they remove it out of the cell. They get it out of there. Okay?
I know about like the flagellum, like on protists.
Yeah. So as you can see, we've got these parts of the cell that are.
The vacuole?
So, like I said, the vacuole is on. excuse me, is on the plant cells, and that kind of helps diffuse water in and out and junk in and out and different things. So let's go back, see if we can get back to the Hangout here and get back to the screen. I hope this copied it. Maybe it didn't. We'll see. Anyways, so Mandy, based off of what you saw, how do you feel about the plant cell now? Do you feel like you understand some parts of it better now? Yeah. Okay, so let's go over what was the main, what carried the DNA?
The nucleus.
Okay, and what was it that was like the mail house? Do you remember?
The Golgi.
The Golgi apparatus, right? What do the mitochondria do?
I can't remember.
It's the powerhouse of the cell. It's what creates the ATP energy that your body uses to live off of. Well, Mandy, I really appreciate you helping me out with this. Hopefully we don't have to do it again. We'll go check it. But thanks for your help, sweetheart.